Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I have such an exciting episode of Trial Tuesday for you where I get to try one or more new products for you guys. Today I'm reviewing Chanel's brand new collection. This is the Chanel Bouton collection. I have two of the brand new palettes. I was able to get them through early access and I cannot wait to show you how gorgeous these palettes are and show you the different looks you can create with them. So if that sounds like fun to you, please stick around. Please also like this video and subscribe to my channel. All right. Let's get this party started. Look what came in the mail. Isn't she beautiful? So this gorgeous white and black packaging reminds me of the original Chanel store in Paris, 31 Rue Cambon. If you've never been, it's the original Chanel fashion house where Coco Chanel would have fashion shows for her line, and she also lived there in an apartment upstairs, and I'll post some pictures up on the screen. But I was recently there in December, and I purchased a pocketbook there. I'm going to be doing a video on it soon, hopefully, telling my whole story of how I bought my dream Chanel bag in the original Chanel boutique in Paris. But this is just so reminiscent of that and bringing back so many good memories. I have to book another trip to Paris soon. I hope. If someone wants to send me to Paris, I'll take it. But anyway, hope to go back soon. I also hope to be doing a video on my whole Chanel experience very, very soon. All right, so let's unbox this beautiful box. All right, so let's see what's inside. Look at that seal. Look at that seal. Tissue paper. Oh, stunning. So I did already open this because I couldn't help myself. And let me show you what I was able to get. So I was able to get these on early access, but I believe by the time this video is posted, this collection will be in Chanel boutiques as well as on the website. I'm not sure if it's going to be in the department stores or on their websites, but stay tuned. Hopefully they will be. But by the time this video is posted, hopefully you will be able to purchase this beautiful collection from Chanel directly. So each gorgeous palette comes with its own unique dust bag. Let me show you what I received. Okay, so this is the Chanel Boutons Baroque, and it comes in this beautiful classic dust bag. And the Boutons Couture eyeshadow palette comes in this equally stunning dust bag. I do want to note that this collection is limited edition, so I highly encourage you, if you see one that you like and it becomes available, I wouldn't wait too long to buy it, just because once they're gone, they probably will be gone. I'm not sure if Chanel is doing another relaunch of this, but again, if you see it available, I would encourage you to pick it up. If you're on the fence, I would encourage you to pick it up because once it's gone, it's probably going to be gone. Okay, so first we have the Chanel Bouton Baroque. Dun, 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 dun. And it comes with a beautiful golden yellow shade, a very, very pretty glittery purple shade, kind of like a champagne rose gold shade right there, kind of like a burnt orange, reddish color. So very unique color story. I'm interested to see how these colors will go together. And equally as beautiful, this is the Chanel Boutons Couture palette. And here you have a beautiful tweed pattern right there. You have the classic Chanel quilting. And then in this kind of bronzy gold shade, just a beautiful Chanel emblem. And then kind of like a, champagne gold shade right there. Absolutely stunning. And this whole line is supposed to be reminiscent of the beautiful Chanel buttons that are on the Chanel suits and other fashion. So really, really beautiful. It's amazing how they can make such tiny details on an eyeshadow palette. So unfortunately, the embossing on these gorgeous palettes will probably fade off after 1 or 2 uses, but we'll always have our memories, right? And I always have my photos and my many videos of these palettes because I cannot stop looking at them, especially this one. It's just so classic. I mean, how can you make tweed on an eyeshadow palette and the Chanel quilting? It's like having a Chanel bag in an eyeshadow palette, but not really. But you get you catch my drift. Just absolutely stunning. And I'm a little bit nervous about this one. I don't know how I'm going to combine these colors, but let's see what we get. Okay, so first we will swatch this Boutons Couture. I don't want to touch the embossing. It's so pretty. Do I have to? You guys really want me to do this? Can I just use it as art? Hang it up on the wall somewhere? All right, like I said, I have my memories. Okay. So going in with that lightest shade. Ooh, very pretty. Okay, and I'm going to do 2 swatches of each. Oh, this just feels wrong. Disturbing the embossing. Just feels wrong. I know a lot of people online said that this is kind of like a monochromatic palette, that you don't get a lot of variation in the color story. But as I'm swatching this, I think there's a fair amount of variation. Okay, so this is the swatch. So on the top, you have that pretty champagne gold color. And then next is this very rich coppery brown color. The next was this one right here. And the final one is the tweed color right there. So very, very pretty. And that is the swatch. Okay, next we're going to swatch this Boutons Baroque palette. Can I swatch it without touching it? Can I leave it like this? Look how pretty. All right. Judy calls. Ooh, that gold shade is really pretty initially. Ooh, the purple. It feels so wrong. But look at that. Look at that. What's interesting about this is I feel like this one in particular is not your traditional fall palette. It's kind of summery. It's interesting because Dior just released their fall line, and those colors really aren't screaming fall to me either. The pinks, the bright lilac color, I mean, beautiful, but not fall. So I don't know if they're trying to go against the norm and do something that's different and out there, but not really screaming fall. I mean, this is pulling a little bit more summer to me, but I think you can make this work for the fall because of this shade right here. And the purple shade, I think it could be a fall color. You can make it work, right? But it's not screaming fall to me off the bat, which is interesting. So this is the Boutons Baroque. So on top, we have the gold shade, obviously the purple, then next this rose gold shade, and then finally this coppery red shade. Okay, so first we're going to go into this light shade right here. Oh, it's disrupting the embossing. Okay. And initially, I just have a touch of House Labs concealer on my eye to prime the eye. Okay. That's a pretty base shade. And this brush is my BK Beauty 203 brush. Okay, just gonna build this up. So very, very neutral shade. Maybe later we can use that as a little bit of a topper, but just creating a little bit of uniformity on the lid. So this is without, this is with. Pop it on the other side. And look, the embossing's already getting messed up. You can only see part of the C. It's kind of like the Dior Riviera collection that, in all honesty, we all bought because of the embossing and the packaging, but I have no regrets. I mean, spending an exorbitant amount of money on something like that, some may consider it a regret. I do not. Not if it's makeup or beauty. Okay, so that is a gorgeous, gorgeous base shade right there. I'm going to take this shade right here, the tweed print. I'm taking a BK Beauty 202 brush. And I just want to kind of dust that all over the lid. Okay. I believe that this consistency in this collection is a gel to powder formula. They're blending like a dream. So that is this shade all over the lid. Now I'm going to take this shade right here, kind of put it into the crease. And like I was saying earlier in the video, I did go to the original Chanel boutique in December around Christmas time, and I bought the bag of my dreams, my second Chanel bag, and I really wanted a black leather bag from Chanel. I was thinking of getting the classic flap, but you know what? I'm not going to tell you what I bought because that will be the subject of another video, but let me know in the comments down below if you like luxury content like that, if you like to talk about pocketbooks and high-end fashion, things like that. Let me know. But I love how buying things like Chanel and Gucci and YSL brings a little bit of luxury into our everyday lives without completely breaking the bank. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do our damage, but it's not total disaster usually. That is this shade. I kind of put it here and here and a little bit into the middle. So now I'm going to take this darkest shade. Kind of just press it into the outer part of the... This is beautiful for fall. Like, I could see myself using this a lot during the fall. And it is creating a very monochromatic look, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because it's a beautiful chocolatey brown color. I feel like it would be flattering on a lot of skin tones. Just to do something a little bit different, I'm taking this shade right here with the BK Beauty 202 brush and just very lightly putting it under the brow bone to kind of make it a little bit more of a cohesive look, so that there's not such a stark contrast with the eyelid. And it's looking a little bit dramatic on camera, but in person, it's not as dramatic as it looks on film. I'm just kind of like diffusing it a little bit. And now I'm going to take my finger and go back into this lightest shade and put it right into the corner to kind of do a little bit of a inner corner highlight right there. And it's building up nicely. Very pretty. See? A little bit more dimension. And then I'm going to take this lighter shade also and use it a little bit under the brow as a highlighter. I'm a little bit messy over here. I'm just taking my foundation brush and just cleaning up the edges. And then we're going to take this shade right here and just do a little bit under the eye. Just lightly, just to give it a little bit of an eyeliner effect. Okay. And this is the Nikki LaRose N12 brush from BK Beauty. Ooh, that went on beautifully. So let me get up close and personal. And this is the finished look. What do we think? So I really love how this look came out. I think this is a gorgeous palette for fall. And I could just picture myself wearing this going shopping for sweaters and boots, or going through the pumpkin patch with a pumpkin spice latte in my hand, wearing an $86 eyeshadow palette on my eyes. I can really imagine that, can't you? But but in all seriousness, I think this is just a stunning palette for fall. And again, it is monochromatic. It is a lot of the same color, this beautiful chocolate brown shade. But if you pair it like I have with a darker lip and a more neutral face, I think it can really make your eyes pop. I just think it's gorgeous. And the formula is beautiful. It went on like a dream. The colors just blended together so nicely. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having this monochromatic look, especially as we go into fall. And look, a lot of the embossing stayed on, so that's a win. But really, really love this. And so my verdict for the Boutons Couture eyeshadow palette is, it is a must-buy. It's stunning. And I'm not going to lie, the embossing is a big part of it. But even still, even when the embossing fades off, it is a gorgeous palette. It's easy to work with. Sometimes you don't want a lot of color options. You don't want to fuss about. You just want to grab something that you know will work and go. And these colors all blend together beautifully. The formula is fantastic. And the embossing is beautiful. So definitely recommend this. And this is a must-buy. Okay, so I removed my eyeshadow. And now we're going to be going in with the Boutons Baroque. Now again, let's just admire it. Purple, the gold, the terracotta shade, the rose gold shade. So I'm going to take my BK Beauty 205 brush and go into this gorgeous gold pattern. I say pattern, but it's a shade, but it's also a pattern. This beautiful sun-like pattern. Ooh. That is pretty. Okay, I'm building it up. And normally I would wear eyeshadow primer, but I wanted to show you how this would apply without any primer, just on the lid. Just because I feel like the primer helps with longevity and application. I always like to use it. I use the one from Urban Decay. And it really goes a long way with helping with eyeshadow. Okay, so this is the golden shade all over the lid. And I feel like on camera it's not picking up as densely as it is in person. You can definitely see it a little bit more in person on the lid. And we're probably going to go back in with that shade later, so we'll revisit you later. Okay, now I'm going to take this rose gold shade and kind of put it in the middle of the lid and then towards the end. Okay, so that's a very neutral shade, which would also be good as the base. I feel like this one is similar to the rose gold shade in the Boutons Couture palette that we just tried. A little bit similar to that. So that is the gold right there in the corner, and then this rose gold on the middle and then towards the outer crease of the eye. And now I'm going to take my Nikki LaRose BK Beauty N13 brush and go into this terracotta shade. And I'm purposely using a fluffy brush so that it's not too dense of an application. Ooh, that's pretty. And again, I was a little bit nervous about how these would all blend together, but so far so good. Very, very pretty. See how it's just warming up the whole face? Very pretty. Okay. And I'm just taking a little bit above the crease just to enlarge the eyes a little bit by not having it just end right there at the crease. Okay. So that is this shade on the outer corner and in the crease. Now I'm going to take my BK Beauty 203 brush and I'm going to go into this beautiful purple shade. Ooh. And I'm just trying to pack that on. I'm not really rubbing it in because it is a shimmer shade. Try and just pack that. Look at that. I love that right there. That's gorgeous. I'm going to take it with my finger actually and just dust it on top. This is the most beautiful purpley shimmery shade. This is stunning. Look at that. Okay, you see right there? Beautiful. That is beautiful. Okay, just putting a little bit more on the lid. Okay. And on the other side, I'm just going to put my finger right there. And just lightly packing it on there. I feel like for this formulation, for this color story, I think having an eyeshadow primer would be good because these are a little bit more shimmery shades, and when you use the primer, it gives it something to hold on to a little bit more. I feel like this palette in particular would benefit from that. But this is like an ethereal look. This is beautiful. And I'm going to take that terracotta shade and just put a little bit with my finger into the corner. And again, I had no idea how these would come together, but they're beautiful. More purple. There. And a little bit more of the gold. And then I'm going to go back in with my BK Beauty 205 brush and go into this rose gold shade right here. And just kind of use it as a highlighter under the brow to bring everything together. I'm taking that and just going under the brow for a highlighter effect. See? And I'm even going to take it and just do a little bit of highlighter on the cheek, just to kind of bring everything together. See? Just a little touch of shimmer. And while these shimmer shades are absolutely stunning, it's not a heavy, chunky glitter. Don't worry if you're not somebody who's not crazy about glitter. I mean, the fact that I was able to use this as a highlight and for it to look so natural shows you that it's very finely milled. Obviously, Chanel, it's going to be perfectly made, but it's not a chunky glitter. So if you're looking for a more soft and subtle glitter, this is for you. Okay, and I'm just taking this terracotta shade right here and just doing a very light dusting under the eye. Oh, I poked myself in the eye. Okay, going on beautifully. This is very hard to do on camera because normally I have to hold this, but I'm trying to hold the mirror and look at you guys and everything. So please excuse me if I poke myself in the eye occasionally and things like that. I'm learning, but it's a skill to learn to do this on camera. They don't teach you this in school, although they should, right? Okay, this might be my new favorite eyeshadow palette ever. I'm just saying. Not to be dramatic or anything, but this is beautiful. And I'm just taking the purple shade and very, very lightly just doing an upper eyeliner effect. Just to give it a little dimension like that. And then I'm going to take the BK Beauty 203 and just go in one last time and do an inner corner highlight. See that? With the sparkly yellow shade. And again, this is looking very dramatic on camera, but in real life, it's not as dramatic as it appears. Okay, so this is the completed look. I'm going to get up close and personal again. So, like I said, not to be dramatic, my new favorite eyeshadow palette. I'm going to throw on a little bit of mascara and tell you my final thoughts. So now it's time to give you my final verdict on the Boutons Baroque palette from Chanel. And my final verdict is, not shockingly, this is a must buy. I think this is just such a unique color story. The way that these colors went together is just so unique, so beautiful. This palette really exceeded my expectations. I had no idea how these colors would come together. I was a doubter, was not a believer, but I can fully say that I'm now a believer. I've converted. I believe in this palette. And I think that there are endless possibilities with the looks you can create. And I think just the whole look, the whole package is just beautiful. And the embossing is just stunning as well. And a lot of it stayed on. So again, an accomplishment that I did not ruin the embossing by creating this beautiful look. So again, I believe this is a must buy. And I'm very, very happy that I picked this up from the new launch. Okay, so that concludes my review of two of Chanel's most recent palettes from their Bouton collection. I could not be happier with both of these palettes. I can't wait to see what other looks I can create with them. And I'm very, very happy I picked these up. And I think these are both perfect for fall and pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin patches and all those fun things. Please let me know in the comments down below what you think. And please also subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it when you guys subscribe and leave me a comment. It means so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.